Guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome to another video. So, today I have here for you actually my wrap-up for the owls. I won't only include here my owls, but also I think two or three books that I read apart from them. So, you know what? Let's just jump into them because there are quite a few of them. So, for Ancient Ruins, I read A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kammerer. And I have to say that I'm so surprised by this series. I really enjoyed the first one, but this second one is still as good. I don't know, it's a really weird sensation because I'm not used to just be really engaged with romance fantasy because, yeah, it is a fantasy, but it's more centered around the romance, both in the first one and in the second book. But I don't know, it just has something so engaging. And the characters are really great. I have to say that I didn't like in this one the fact that we don't have enough Harper for me. I enjoyed the new character, which I don't remember the name, give me a minute, Leomara. She was okay, but I think she went from better to worse. For some reason, I ended up just not liking her as much as at the beginning, but I don't know, and Grace's character in here, I felt like he was just like a fucking idiot. The reason why I didn't give this 5 out of 5 stars is because the whole conflict could have been solved if Gray just talked. He was just like, hey man, this happened, I'm sorry. Well, he doesn't even have to say sorry because he didn't use it. That made me a little bit disappointed. So it was really solid, and I can't wait to continue reading this series because that ending was just like, damn. If you have never read A Curse of Dark and Lonely, the first book in this series is actually a retelling of The Beauty and the Beast, but in this case Harper, or Beauty, is actually kidnapped from our world and sent into this magical world. By the way, I haven't told you that, but if you want to know more about my thoughts reading these books, I will link in the card, which is somewhere around here, all the blogs that I record during the owls because I kind of went more in depth about these books. So, for Arithmancy, I read Deferment by Joe Hill. This was so good. I have to say that I loved the beginning of this book. I will say that the last pages were a little bit meh for me. But the whole cult thing was incredibly good. It felt terrifying because they were doing so many weird things and they weren't controlling it. So it just added like a new level of of horror to it. That, oh my goodness. And she's also called Harper, by the way. Harper was really good as a main character. She did what she had to do to survive, and that's it. And she's not apologetic for it, which I really appreciate because, you know, she's about to burst into flames and she can do whatever she has to do to actually survive. But yeah, it was really good. I have to say that I kind of don't understand why it's called Deferment. Because he wasn't just like really important for me. I don't know. At the same time, I have to say that overall, this story was phenomenal. And I just love books with cults. Overall, it was really good. But yeah, let me tell you a bit about what Deferment is about. Basically, we have this kind of semi-apocalyptic world where people are contracting this kind of disease that is called dragon scale. And what this does is that they grow up this kind of fungus thing that actually makes them go just like supernova. Yeah, they basically explode. Instant combustion. Yeah, so we're going to follow this whole thing. In the beginning was just like so good because we are just following the whole world trying to survive with this kind of new bacteria, virus, fungus going around, and it was just like really good. By the way, I gave Deferment 4 stars out of 5 stars because it has so many good elements, but the ending was just meh. Then for Astronomy, I ended up reading The Wolf of Bolingero by K.S. Villoso. This book was not what I was expecting at all. I knew that we were following the queen. So I was kind of shocked when between the first 50 and 60 pages, we just kind of lost our queen in the crowd, and she's just like forced to survive, which is really weird because I was waiting for this kind of court intrigue, you know, but no. This book definitely keeps turning all the time. We are just having Tayel being a vagabond, but now she's a queen again, but now she's kind of a prisoner, but now she's kind of kidnapped, but now she's okay, but now she's a wolf, and it's just like, what the hell? But overall, I think it works, because all of this serves our main character to just have this kind of evolution that ends up being really good, because you're rooting for her. The beginning is just like, okay, you know, she's our main character, we need to help her, and just be rooting for her. But at the end, you're just like, yeah, girl, go fucking kill them. It was definitely not what I was expecting, but it was still really good. I will definitely continue with the series, and I know that the second one is going to be fucking amazing. So, to give you a brief summary about the Wolf of Orangetto, we basically follow Queen Taliel. She was just this heir to this kind of little kingdom, and she was promised to this other kind of heir. But on the night of their coronation, her husband basically disappeared and she was left to rule by herself. But one day after 5 years, she receives this letter telling her that he wants to meet and that there are things that he needs to talk about with her. And she just, you know, goes with her. Goes with him. We'll leave it at that. Then, for care of magical creatures, we have Heart to Flame by Nikki Palpreda. This is book 2 in the Crown of Feathers saga. And, oh, this book is amazing. I mean, Crown of Feathers is turning out to be one of my definitely favorite series, because it's just so full with content, with friendship, with magic. I can help. This is actually a YA fantasy, and I've said this in my blogs, and I'm sorry if you feel bad about it or if you're mad, but being a YA fantasy, this book is amazing. It has tons of world building, and it's not like it's info dumping you. I mean, at the beginning of each chapter, you have like a portion of history or a kind of sentence from the previous queen. It keeps feeding you with information, but it's always substantial information that you need. So it never feels repetitive or feels unnecessary, which is a plus for a book this big. But overall, the relationship between the characters, so well done. I love Veronica as the main character. She is amazing. She has this growth constantly, and all her relationships are complicated, and she's just such a good character to follow. And also in this one, we have a new perspective that we kind of didn't have in the previous one with Val, and being in her head is kind of messed up, but at the same time, it's really, really cool, and it was just phenomenal. I didn't quite love the new perspective, but it's okay. He has this kind of evolution throughout the book that is quite nice, but nothing out of the ordinary, I have to say. But yeah, I can't wait for the third book in this series, because oh my goodness, Nikki Palpreda has a way to end books that is just like, I need more. Where is the next one? This was phenomenal, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. This is definitely one of my new favorite series. In an overall kind of perspective, in Crown of Feathers, we follow I almost said the spoiler there. Val and Veronica in their journey to become a Phoenix Rider. And especially with Veronica, we are going to follow her throughout the whole training, and it's something so cool. You're gonna love this book. You should read this book because it's fucking great. So, for charms, I actually ended up reading These Mug Thieves by Sally Green instead of Oathbringer, which I'm reading this month, so don't worry. But this was another YA fantasy that I've been not hearing extremely good things about, but good enough things to keep me interested. And I really like it. But with days passing, I realized that it wasn't as good as I thought the first time I read it. Because even though the final part of this book was really great, the beginning felt a little bit shallow. And this is because we are following such a huge cast of characters from the beginning already that is just not great. I mean, some of the plotlines are really interesting and some of them are not. So by the time that they all converge and you get to the ending, you don't care about half of the characters. Which is kind of sad because I think if the previous characters had like a really interesting plotline, this book would have been 5 stars. I'm just kind of sad that Sally Green didn't manage that better because, I mean, it's really hard to keep you engaged with 6 different characters because there are so many of them, and for a moment I was just like, oh, can we just finish with this chapter because I want to go with Catherine. And Catherine's plotline was so much better than the others. It was full with action, political intrigue, and it's just like, damn, this is actually important and not the other ones. But yeah, by the end you see that they were actually important, all of them. But that's not enough to make me care about them either. Because at the end I was just like thinking about Catherine and Ambrose and the prince, and I was just like, where are they? Where are they? But yeah, that was just like kind of a main concern with this. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I actually really want to read the sequel because I don't know, I think it's going to be fantastic. Because now that I'm kind of attached to the characters, and I think that I could actually manage to care for them from the beginning. So yeah, but one thing that I really enjoyed was the main kind of world building. I won't say that this just is full of world building because it wouldn't be true. It's pretty lacking actually, but what I saw, I really enjoyed. So I wish that in the second one we're going to see more. I really hope so, because if not, it's going to be really sad. But yeah, we'll see about it. We follow, well, kind of 5 main characters. One of them is a demon hunter, one of them is the princess that is going to be married off to some other country. We follow the one of the guards of the princess that is actually being outcast. We also follow a thief, and we also follow kind of a traitor, which I'm not going to tell you what he does because it's kind of a good, it's kind of part of the good beginning of the book, so yeah. I gave the Smoke Thieves 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know if I have said that, but yeah, 4 out of 5 stars. Then, for Defense Against the Dark Arts. For Defense Against the Dark Arts, I read Divination Deep by Astrid Schulte, and this was kind of a disappointment. I won't say that I was going into this book with high expectations. I was just like in an okay mood for it, but nothing really fancy about it. So when I started it, it started off like super good. I was like, yeah, this sounds really intriguing. But it happened the same to me as with the Light at the Bottom of the World, that this turned out to be like a book about travel. And I don't mind travel, but I don't like it on standalones because it feels like we lost time. I'm more of a plot-centered person or a world-building person. I really like both of those. But this book tried to give you world-building, but it felt like it was lacking a bit because it was really superficial. So it was just like meh. And if you're going to travel through all these places but not tell me much about them, that makes me kind of sad. And I didn't feel the characters. There's kind of insta-love in this book because this is happening all in one day. And you know, insta-love of course is going to happen, but it felt really unnecessary, completely unnecessary, and I don't understand it a bit. I ended up giving this like a 3.5, 3 stars. It wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, it wasn't bad at all, but it was really meh. I don't think this is going to be memorable. Basically, in the Vanishing Deep, we are set in this earth that is basically drowned. So humans live in this kind of artificial constructs and islands that were basically top of mountains. And we have this cool thing that if someone drowns, you can actually resurrect them for a day and stay with them for that period of time. So we're going to follow our main character trying to resurrect her sister. And she's trying to do that because after her sister died, she actually discovered that she had something to do with the her parents. So, you know, the overall mystery was okay, but as I told you, it was a pretty meh book. Then, for Divination, I had to read Founderside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This was actually pleasantly surprising for me. I have to say that I was expecting something different, more of a, I don't know, an epic kind of read, but it was pretty centered, and we don't have that many things going on. I don't know, I think that in the second book, everything's going to expand and everything is going to be just like gigantic and epic. But this one is mostly focused around a robbery, basically, which is not something that I really love in books, but I don't mind it. So the cool thing about this book is the fucking magic system. It's fucking great. And it's actually really funny. I don't know, just talking objects. I mean, I can say that I'm really attached to the characters. I enjoy them, but I'm not just like feeling it yet. But overall, I think that the second book is going to be the one that grabs you and just is like, yeah, I'm fucking amazing. What do you think? But this one is definitely a solid entry to the trilogy. I'm super glad that I actually realized that it was a trilogy, not a duology, because that would be pretty sad. And this is where everything starts. Basically, overall, it was really good. So I give this one 4 out of 5 stars. I really want to read the sequel, which is called Shortfall, I think. And they all have these amazing covers. It's so beautiful. But yeah, in this book, we basically follow Sansia, and she is actually a thief trying to plot this robbery. And the cool thing about Sansia is that she actually is able to hear objects talk, and the magic in this world is actually centered around the knowledge that you can actually scribe on objects and they will do certain things. For example, you can write a sigil on a wheel to make it spin with no need of anything else. And there was one that I really liked. They were these shackles and they weren't able to open because the shackles were just like, oh, I can let you go. I can let you go. I can live without you. I can let you go. And that was just like super funny, but yeah. It was a really, really solid book. Then, for Herbology, I actually read My Sister, the Serial Killer, and I can't, for the love of God, remember the name of this author. I'm so sorry. This book was really good, but it was lacking pages. I mean, it's a really short novel. It's under, I think it's under 200 pages or 200 and something, but it's really, really short, and it felt short because the author really wants to get into the point, and that is that her sister is a serial killer. And kind of would like to see if the sister was actually something else, just that I would knowing that she is indeed a serial killer. So I would have liked just like a bit of mystery. I don't know, there was something missing. I have to say that I really liked how the manipulation worked and how toxic the relationship was, because it's actually, you know, like a sibling relationship, and that was really cool. But, you know, it needed a little bit more to develop, and I would really like to know the characters more and previous to the whole murder thing. I needed more background. Just to say something. But yeah, overall I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I just wish it was longer. Then for History of Magic, I read the Kind of Contempt by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is technically book 4, but book 2 in the Witcher series. And I mean, I really enjoyed The Witcher. I love the video game and I love the first 2 novels with the short stories. But Blood of Elves was just like complete failure to me. It felt boring and it felt like it didn't have anything going on within its pages. But this one stepped up the game to so many levels. The characters were great. We had plot going on. We had great events. There's a gathering of mages here that is fucking great. And oh my god, it just made me excited to actually read more of the Witcher books, because after Blood of Elves, I was just like, I don't really want to read it anymore. But yeah, this was definitely such a much better book from the previous one. Even though I have to say that I'm a bit on the popular opinion here, I enjoyed the first half of the book much better than the last half. There's a part where we are just following Ciri that felt extremely boring to me. I don't know, perhaps it's because I'm really used to Ciri being an adult, not a child, because of the video games, but overall it was good. I give this one 4 or 5 stars, and it's just like a really solid 4 stars, and I can't wait to know more about The Witcher now. I can't wait to actually read the next one. Then for Muggle Studies, I read The Resident, and this was an arc that I get through NetGalley that was actually really good. I will tell you first, I give this one also 4 out of 5 stars, and I was just so surprised by it. We basically follow this guy. Well, he's a suspect of murder, basically. So he is just running away from the police, and he hides in this complex of houses that are all connected through the ceiling. So he's just hiding in there, jumping around the different houses. One is empty, one has an old idea on it, one has a kind of junk marriage, and one has an older marriage. Marriage? A couple. He just starts playing these games with the neighbors. He's just pretending to be the son of this old woman, and he's stalking this young couple and being just like, yeah, she's hiding something from you. And that was really macabre. That was a bit terrifying. The protagonist has kind of an schizophrenia going on in there, and he's just talking to different parts of himself all the time, and that's just like the voices, this typical voice saying him to do bad things, you know. I won't say that it has just like a big mystery going on, but the ending was really good. It was like, ooh, so that was true. The only thing that was missing for me, he just kinda left one of the couples alone because they had a dog. And that felt a little bit meh, because I would really like to see another of those mind games working with them. But yeah, overall it was a really solid book. Then for potions, I read Prosper's Demon, and this is a really short story, so I won't tell you much. It's under 50 pages, and it's basically about an exorcism, and it was good, but I didn't understand half of it because we just start going right on it, and it's just like, yeah, there are demons, there are monsters. I just hunt them because, you know, one time I was little and I discovered that I could hunt them and see them, so I just went there to do it. I was like, okay, yeah, but I would have loved this to be a full-length novel. Actually, it was really weird. But yeah, I don't want to tell you much because, yeah, it's so short, but give it a try. You might actually like it. It's pretty weird. Well, overall I liked it. So yeah, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was right in the middle there. Nothing incredible. I liked the premise, but I would really loved if this was a full-length novel. So much. I read Diamantina by Andrew Rowe for the Transfiguration class. Well, class exam. And this was so good. This is book 2 in the Weapons and Wielders series. Yeah, I said it right this time. And we follow Keras in this one. He's a character from the Arcane Ascension, and he just starts in this new continent from scratch because a wizard sends him there. We don't know what his mission is, and we just follow him going around. So in this one, they are going into this tournament to get more of the 6 sacred swords. And This was so good. I love books with tournaments on them or competitions. They have something that I really enjoy, and I will say that until the end it was a really okay book. It didn't have anything that I completely adore about it or that I hate. No, it was okay and that's it. But the ending, oh. Andrew has a way to make you unaware of what's going on until the end, because once you piece everything together, you're just like, fuck, this was going on all around for all this time. But yeah, when you reach the end, you're just like, damn, I ate it all up. But yeah, this was fantastic. I can't wait to read more Andrew Rowe. I don't know now if I want more of this or Arcane Ascension 3. I don't know. Perhaps I want this book more now. But yeah, I love the concept of the whole 6 sacred swords thing. It was really, really good. And there are some new mysteries here that I really want to know, especially with the princess. There's something weird going on there. But yeah, I just love Andrew Rowe. I'm going to read everything that he puts out. He's coming out with a new book, by the way, in Audible. You should check it out. Outside from the Owls, I read another 2 books. One of them is my last read because I'm leaving the best for the end, and it's The Death of Mr. Westaway by Ruth Ware. This is a thriller that is pretty basic, I won't lie. I give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, but until the end, nothing really interesting happened for me. I would probably DNF this book if it wasn't because I didn't have anything else to read at the time. But yeah, it wasn't great. I loved The Turn of the Key. I think that I really enjoy, in general, Ruth Ware's endings because they are kind of pretty open and pretty on your face at the end. But I don't know. I didn't feel this one. There was something that I was just like, okay, I don't really care. And it was pretty repetitive, especially in the beginning when she's just like, oh no, I can't do this to them because, oh my god, I'm not this person. And it's like, yeah, we know that. We know. In The Death of Mr. Westaway, we basically follow our main character, and she receives this letter telling her that she has to go to this house because she is named on the testament. And basically, she is not the one that's mentioned there. And she knows this from the start. She knows that she's actually doing a fraud and she's impersonating someone, but she doesn't care because she has to pay her bills. And I don't mind that. I don't have a problem with that. But she's just like I told you, saying all the time, I'm not this person. Oh my god, I feel so bad. And it's just like, you don't feel that bad because you keep doing it. And for finishing up, oh my god, this book was great. This is the Southern Book Club Purslane Bumpers by Gendry Henriks. I can't say this name for the love of God. I can say it. This was so good. I mean, I'm not a person who's afraid of vampires, but this dude was fucking terrifying. He just had control over the entire fucking town and he was just controlling them. Ugh. It was awful. It was awful. It made me suffer so much. And the main character felt like she was crazy and everyone thought that she was crazy, but she wasn't, of course. And they're just trying to get into her head all the time. And these men were driving me insane because this is set on the 80s? I think it was in the 80s. And of course we have this wonderful just toxic masculinity because, you know, our wives shouldn't talk and stuff like that, which is fucking annoying as hell. But you were just like, Patricia, say something, fuck these people. This was fantastic. I love this book. I gave it, I will say that it's more of a 4.75 than 5 stars, but I keep thinking about it throughout the whole week since I read it. So I think that I love it. I actually don't have a physical copy, but I have ordered it because I need it now. I need to have this book in my collection because it was so good. Actually, tell me if you're interested because I've been thinking about doing a full review about this book because it's so good that I want to talk more about it. In the Southern Book Club Purslane Bumpers, we basically follow this small town, which is full of cliches, I have to say, but We follow Patricia in her book club, and one day she discovers that she has a new neighbor, and in a couple of pages later she realizes that he is actually kind of a fucking vampire. So she just gathers up her whole crew of the book club and decide to take him down. But yeah, there's actually many years within the book, so we have like a jump of 3 years, I think it was. But yeah, this book was phenomenal, and I can't wait to read more about from this author because this book blew me away so much. Finally, those were all the books that I read this month. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you feel about them. So yeah, that's going to be all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!